Hari Om. Vishnusahasranama Sloka 15 lokādhyakṣaḥ surādhyakṣo dharmādhyakṣo kṛtākṛtaḥ caturātmā caturvyūha caturdaṃṣṭra caturbhujaḥ. Lokādhyakṣaḥ, the supreme leader of the world. Here the world refers to this earth, this universe, this individual body. He is the overseer of everything. Surādhyakṣo, suras are deities. In this universe, both in the macrocosm and microcosm, there are numerous deities. As mentioned earlier, these deities under the governance of Supreme Lord regulate everything. Just as the sun, the deity of light, illuminates the external world, the same deities resides within the body as the deity of vision. Similarly, the moon represents the deity of sound externally and the deity of hearing within the body. The deity Varuna is associated with water externally and the deity of saliva within the mouth. Likewise, Agni represents the fire, Indra represents the hands, Yama represents the excretory system, and Daksha represents the reproductive organs. Apart from this, Indra and Kamadeva represents the mind. Garuda, Shesha and Rudra represents the intellect, and Saraswati, Bharati and Parvati represents the power of speech. Brahma and Vayu represents the mind. Each sensory function in the body is governed by specific deities. The governance of these deities is dependent on the Supreme Lord, who is the leader of the Suras. Dharmādhyakṣaḥ, the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in every age occurs for the establishment of righteousness on this earth. The Supreme Lord who incarnates and establishes righteousness throughout the entire world is known as dharmādhyakṣaḥ, the overseer of righteousness. Furthermore, they refer to Anantashesha and the god of life force prana as aspect of righteousness. As the life force within the body and the atmospheric life force surrounding the body, they are representatively the controlling factors. The gravitational force that holds the earth together is represented by Shesha, that is Ananta. Throughout the medium of these two, the Supreme Lord who holds and sustains this earth is the overseer of righteousness. kṛtākṛtaḥ. The name is derived from two contrasting terms. One is krita, the doer, and the other is akritaḥ, the non-doer. The Supreme Lord is the creator of the universe, yet he is untouched by any merits or demerits. He accomplishes everything but remains unaffected by any association. He dwells within us, orchestrates everything through us, holds us responsible for our merits and demerits, and stands apart completely detached. The Supreme Lord is kṛtākṛtaḥ, the one who accomplishes everything while being untouched by any action. He does not require any personal accomplishments, but out of love for his devotees, he assumes incarnations to fulfill their desires. Such is the Supreme Lord, the kṛtākṛtaḥ. Caturātmā, the Supreme Lord controls his universe in four forms. In our life, there are three natural states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Everyone experiences these three states continuously. However, beyond these three states, there is a fourth state that is extremely significant. It is called the turiya state. 1. In the state of wakefulness, the Supreme Lord, who is seated as the universal sound in the wheel of command, Ajna Chakra, is known as the first syllable of the sacred sound, apti. He is the universe himself. In the realm of purity, below the subtle current of the nadi, nerve in the crown, in the state of wakefulness, the Supreme Lord controls the dream state and reveals himself through our dreams. He is known as the illuminous self. 3. Through the control of the mind, the Supreme Lord governs a state of deep sleep that transcends the senses. He is the omniscient self. 4. If our waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states are the functioning of the mind, then the fourth state, which transcends the control of the mind, is the self-experience state. In the state of Turiya, which transcends all states, we perceive our blissful self-nature beyond the 15 layers that bind us. In this state, we realize the truth of being a mere reflection and understand the truth of the original form, the Supreme Lord. In this state, we can see God and speak to God. We call this fourth state, which enables us to perceive the Supreme Lord from the perspective of our true nature, the Turiya state. The Supreme Lord who controls us in the four states of Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna and Turiya is known as caturātmā, the four-souled one. In addition to this, God has created four types of bodies for the experience of being in the world. Gross body made up of 5 visible elements perceived by the eyes, subtle body that is invisible to the eyes after a human being dies. This subtle body leaves the gross body. Linga Sharira, the subtle body that has existed since the beginning of creation. Essential body, which is the true form of the soul. Thus God, the caturātmā, has provided 4 types of bodies for the experience of the world. Gross, subtle, linga and essential bodies. In the creation of living beings, there are 4 types of birth. Jarayuja, born completely developed in the womb, example human, cow, etc. Andaja, born in the form of an egg, grows fully inside the egg and then hatches from the egg, example bird, hen, etc. Svedaja, born from moisture or sweat, example virus, bacteria, etc. Udbhija, born as seed, sprouts and grows, example plants. Thus, the caturātmā God creates the birth of living beings in 4 different ways. Andaja, Svedaja, Udbhija and Jarayuja. Caturvyūha. The Supreme Lord is worshipped to the 4 forms of collective groups known as Vyūha, Pradyumna, the cause of creation, Aniruddha, the cause of sustenance, Sankarshana, the cause of dissolution, Vasudeva, the giver of liberation. The individual soul first connects with Aniruddha and establishes a relationship through the Annamaya Kosha, that is sheath of food. Then it connects with Pradyumna and establishes a relationship through the Manomaya Kosha, sheath of the mind. By attaining liberation from Sankarshana, it attains the release of Vijnanamaya Kosha, sheath of knowledge. Finally, by merging with Vasudeva, it becomes self-blissful. This is how Supreme Lord worshipped throughout these 4 view forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha is known as caturvyūha. The Supreme Lord is the creator of the 4 Varanas, not to be confused with caste in the world. Here, Varana means the creation of Supreme Lord, not the social system created by the people. We can see these 4 Varanas in all parts of the world. They are Brahmana, intellects who study, teach and research. Kshatriya, defenders and administrators. Vaishya, producers and distributors. Shudra, service-oriented individuals. Here, 4 Varanas can be seen within the same family, and those who perform tasks suitable for the respective qualities achieve rapid success. Thus, the world functions with these 4 Varanas, which are essential. The Supreme Lord created these Varanas to maintain the order and balance in the world. Caturdaṃṣṭra. The Lord appeared as Varaha, the boar incarnation, and as Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion incarnation, and annihilated Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu respectively. Even among us, Hiranyakashipus and Hiranyakshas exist. Here, Hiranya means gold, which signifies wealth or riches. Always keeping their eyes fixed on wealth without considering anything beyond it, the quality of a person consumed by the desire of wealth is represented by Hiranyaksha. Once again, when wealth arrived, Hiranyakashipu, placing it as his crown symbolically, immerses himself in the greed of wealth. When this greed was obstructed, the human qualities of becoming angry is represented by Hiranyakashipu. The omniscient Lord is capable of annihilating the desires of lust, anger and greed thus exist within us, just as he did with his 4 hands. Caturbhujaḥ. In general, in the idol of God, we see 4 hands and 4 weapons. For example, in the case of Vishnu, there are the conch, discus, mace, and lotus. Similarly, in the case of Ganesha, there are the noose, tooth, god, and the hand of assurance. What does this mean? What is their significance? 1. Chakra. The discus represents the symbol of righteousness. The revolving discus of Vishnu signifies the power of destruction and is the symbol of the goddess Durga, the goddess of destruction. Shankha. The conch represents the symbol of wealth that enriches our lives according to the principles of righteousness. Gada. The mace is a symbol of Lord Vishnu's mighty power of controlling desires. Padma. The lotus is a symbol of peace and liberation. Similarly, when we look at the idol of Ganesha, Pasha, the noose represents the firm grip, bondage of righteousness required for our lives. Danta, along with wealth, it represents self-control, holding its own tooth. Ankusha, it is the god used to control unbridled desires. Abhaya, when these 3 are upheld, it represents the fearlessness of liberation. Vishnu's 4 weapons can be arranged in 14 different ways. If it is the idol of Janardana with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padmadhari, it is the idol of Keshava with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padmadhari. In this way, there are 14 different idols of Vishnu. They are as follows: 1. Keshava, 2. Narayana, 3. Madhava, 4. Govinda, 5. Madhusudana, 6. Trivikrama, 7. Vishnu, 8. Sridhara, 9. Rishikesha, 10. Padmanabha, 11. Damodara, 12. Sankarshana, 13. Vamana, 14. Vasudeva, 15. Pradyumna, 16. Anuruddha, 17. Purushottama, 18. Adokshaja, 19. Narasimha, 20. Achyuta, 21. Janardana, 22. Upendra, 23. Hari, 24. Krishna. In this way, the 4-armed form of the divine, which is specific arrangement, is called caturbhujaḥ, 4-armed. Here is the in the context of food, the word bhuja also means meal in 4 ways. One who eats and one who offers food is called caturbhujaḥ, one with 4 arms. As Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, having become the Vishwanara, I reside in the bodies of living beings. I am associated with the prana and apana, and I digest the 4 types of food. Chapter 15, verse 15. Here, Panchamyunaha caturvidaha means digesting the 4 types of food. Anna refers to all types of food. Praninam dihimashritam means the bodies of living beings that can consume food. The food of animals can be classified into 4 categories: bhaksha, chewed; bhojya, sucked; lehya, licked; and chosya, drunk. Bhaksha, food that can be chewed, cut and eaten, solid food. Bhojya, food that can be tasted and swallowed without chewing, semi-solid food. Lehya, food that can be licked and eaten, semi-liquid food. Chosya, food that can be drunk, liquid food. All these 4 types of food exist within the stomach of all living beings in the form of fire. Divided into 3 categories. It nourishes the body by dividing the 4 types of food into 3 categories. The one who facilitates this process and enables us to sustain our lives is caturbhujaḥ, with 4 arms. All food is composed of earth, water, and fire. The subtle part of the food becomes the intellect, the middle part becomes the flesh and skin, and the gross part is excreted as waste. Similarly, the subtle part of the water becomes the breath, the middle part becomes phlegm, and the gross part is excreted as urine. As for fire, the subtle part becomes speech, the middle part becomes bone marrow, and the gross part becomes bone and ash. In this way, Lord Vishnu, with his remarkable skill, efficiently performs the task of dividing gold from a mine. He resides within us and, in an organized manner, utilizes the 4 types of food in the above-mentioned 3 ways. This is why he is known as Caturbhujaḥ, the 4-armed deity. Hari Om.